Hello there and welcome back to another AEW news video on the channel. As you may have noticed a couple of changes. We now have a new name for the channel rather than AEW News. We're now known as All Elite Everything, which means not only are we going to be bringing you news videos, but we're going to be bringing you some lists, some documentaries and much more, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's get to the headlines for today's news video. As a Being the Elite champion has been crowned, AEW trading cards are coming soon, a Wrestling Legend's two sons are set to debut on Dark, we have the AEW countdown to Full Gear ratings, a former WWE wrestler has teased a match with Darby Allin, a match on this week's AEW Dynamite has been cancelled, we have this week's full AEW Dynamite card, and finally we've got some news of Cody Rhodes' political aspirations. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any daily AEW videos. And while you're down there, why not drop a like on the video? It helps us out a lot. But without any further ado, let's get into the stories. And in our first story this week on Being the Elite, the first ever BTE champion was crowned. In a game of Gator Golf, Matt Jackson, Trent and John Silver went head to head to find out who was the best at playing balls in the series. And they had an obstacle course made up in their hotel rooms, and the first one to get their ball to the end into the alligator's mouth becomes the winner. And coming away with the victory, making Being the Elite history, was Trent, and he will forever be known as the first BTE champion. So epic stuff, but let's move on to the next story. And speaking of Being the Elite, on this week's episode, it was confirmed that AEW have some trading cards in the works. And more specifically, we saw Matt Jackson reveal the news, and along with Nick Jackson, Arn Anderson, Matt Hardy, Serena Deeb, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian were all shown signing stickers that will eventually be added onto the trading cards in the future. So we didn't get a glimpse of what the trading cards will look like, but we know that there will be some limited edition signed versions of the cards at some point in there. On AEW Dark, the two sons of a wrestling legend will be making their AEW debut, as Terrence and Terrell Hughes, the sons of Devon Dudley, will be taking on the Chaos Project, of course Serpentico and Lufa. So it'll be interesting to see how Terrence and Terrell get on tonight, and we wish them the best of luck in their AEW career, and hopefully we can see them climb the ladder in the tag team division. And fans of Impact Wrestling will remember Terrence and Terrell being in a storyline in 2011-12 where they were involved in the Brother Devon Bully Ray feud. As well as that, on the card for tonight's Dark, we've got the Lucha Brothers taking on David Ali and Ashton Starr. Jurassic Express will be taking on Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Alan Angels of the Dark Order will be taking on Fugo del Sol. The Acclaimed go up against Justin Blacks and Louis Valle. Ivelisse and Diamante will be taking on Genocide and Dream Girl Ellie. We'll see Leva Bates versus Danny Jordan. Top Flight take on Frankie Thomas and Baron Black. And the Hybrid 2 will be taking on Sean Dean and Adam Priest. This past Friday, the AEW Countdown to Full Gear special aired on TNT, and we have the official ratings from the show. And if you haven't checked it out already, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of great storytelling in there, and it did a fantastic job of hyping the pay-per-view, especially the last segment with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. But yeah, in terms of viewership, it did 245,000 viewers on average, and got a rating of 0.09 in the 18 to 49 demographic. And this is actually down by over 100,000 viewers from the last Countdown show, which was for All Out in September, and it is down by 0.05 in the demographic. As I say though, if you haven't checked it out already, go and watch it. It's free on YouTube as well, so yeah. And 100,000 people there missing out big time. But yeah, let's move on. And on Twitter, we've had a little bit of a tease from a former WWE superstar that they might be going after Darby Allin's recently won AEW TNT Championship. So the AEW on TNT Twitter account sent out a question asking how long will the new TNT champion Darby Allin reign? And Leo Rush replied saying depends. And this caught the attention of fans and would definitely be a solid match if it was to happen on Dynamite on TNT at some point. And you never know what could happen. As far as I'm aware, Leo Rush isn't signed to any exclusive deals, and even if he was, AEW are very open to working cross promotions. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen. Or it could just be Lio Rush trying to get some publicity, but we'll see how it goes. And next up, a match that was scheduled for this week's AEW Dynamite has been cancelled. And the match advertised was the Young Bucks versus Top Flight. There's been no word on exactly why it's been cancelled, but I can only assume that it's related to Matt Jackson's injuries that he's been working through recently. But the Young Bucks will still be on the show in a non-wrestling capacity. But speaking of Dynamite, let's have a look at the rest of the card for tomorrow night's show. We're going to see the MJF and Wardlow induction into the Inner Circle after MJF defeated Chris Jericho at AEW Full Gear to earn membership into the group. Cody Rhodes will speak after losing the TNT Championship to Darby Allin. Tay Conti will be taking on Red Velvet in a women's division match. In the tag team division, the Natural Nightmares, the team of QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, will be taking on the Butcher and the Blade, and this will be in a bunkhouse match. We're going to see the Battle of the Brothers as Penta El Zero Miedo takes on Rey Fenix for the second time in AEW. Of course, the first time was in the AEW World Title Contender Tournament, with Rey Fenix winning that one. And also we're going to be seeing Scorpio Sky take on Shawn Spears. Of course, this was scheduled for last week, but was cancelled due to Scorpio Sky no longer being able to attend the show. And for our final story, Cody Rhodes has expressed an interest in getting into politics later on in his life. And he was recently interviewed by Bleacher Report, and he told them that I'm 35 and I said I only wanted to wrestle for 5 more years. I have political aspirations. I would love to run for the Senate in the great state of Georgia. I want to help with the sphere of influence I created. I always say if you do the work, it will pay off. And there's no word on which party Cody would represent if he did run for Senate, but I'm sure he would have a lot of support in the local community with him being a big name from the state of Georgia. But yeah, I wouldn't expect this to happen anytime soon. He says that he wants to wrestle for 5 more years, so that would take him to 40. So at minimum, it will be happening in 2026, unless he wants to be a wrestler and a politician at the same time. But yeah, let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But that's it for today's news video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the news in the comments down below. And remember to let me know what else you want to see come to the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any daily AEW content. But until next time, peace.